place in Madagascar, a country that's facing serious political crises at the moment. On Sunday, the Minister uh, of Armed Forces recognized a new army chief appointed by military units supporting protesters, calling for President Andry Rajoelina to step down. The elite CAPSAT unit has claimed control of the military following weeks of youth-led protests that have left at least 22 people dead. President Rajoelina has condemned what he calls an attempted illegal seizure of power and has urged national unity. Well, to help us understand the historical context and the potential consequences, we're now joined by Professor Solofo Randrianja, who's a historian at the University of Toamasina and author of several books on Malagasy politics and history. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, and welcome to the program. Hello, Prof. Can you hear me? Hello, Professor. Can you hear me? All right. Okay. We're struggling to get hold of the Prof at the moment, and we're going to try and reach him in Madagascar. He's an expert on Malagasy history and politics, and certainly somebody who's been following the events in the country. But let's see if he's there. Professor, are you there? Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry for this mess.
Ah, no, no problem. We understand. What is the situation in the country as you understand it at the moment? Everybody seems to think a coup is underway and that President Rajoelina maybe is seeking refuge in the French embassy.
About the vocabulary, a coup, I don't know if that's the right word for that, for those events, because it's quite a large popular movement, including many sections of the population, and it started to reach even the rural areas. Every part of the society has its word to and demands to express now because of the choice made by the authorities to repress and to prevent people from especially the young people from saying their needs. And that I think that's the starting point of all these things.
So,
So yes,
so the involvement of the military, we're now seeing them saying that, look, we're not going to shoot protesters, and in fact, we support them. What does that mean?
I think the military, a section of the military people. You mentioned the CAPSAT, which is not an elite per se section of the army. It's the administrative part of the army, but one of their advantages is that they keep they store all the weapons of the whole army in Madagascar. So they have like a strategic position, even though they are not like fighters like the other then elite part of the army. So I think that the army, the armed forces, including the gendarmerie, which is French in heritage, the police forces, and the army per se, uh, are in conflict for many months, not to say for many years. So the Gen Z movement like revealed those conflicts inside the army, which break out thanks to these social movements. As I said before, the Gen Z movement allow all the sections of the population to express their demands, and the armed forces are included in that.
Has President Rajoelina been seen at all? Has he made any statements? Has he appeared on television? Any word from him?
Physically, he didn't appear on TV or no speech on official radio station and or private station. But we can have some communiques, just some written communiques and unsigned, so nobody knows where he is exactly. There are some informations coming from the social networks that helicopter took him from his offices in the capital city and bring him in the island of Sainte Marie, which belongs to Madagascar, and then a French military plane took it to an unknown place. But the former prime minister and this famous businessman Mami Ravatmanga tried to fly to Mauritius, to Réunion, which refused to the plane to land, and then they moved to Mauritius, where they are now. So there is a quite big confusion at the head of the state.
Where do you think this leaves Madagascar in terms of its history? I mean, Rajoelina himself came in through an intervention of sorts, but things have changed quite a bit since that time, especially with these social movements like the Gen Zs as they're being described. Where are we, do you think, in Madagascar's history at this moment?
As far as I know, this Gen Z movement had a lot of similarities with the 72 movements of last century, in a sense that there is like a demographic constant problem in Madagascar. The population is becoming more and more younger and younger. I'm sorry. Uh, and that was the point from the 60s. And there is nothing done, especially there is no heavy investment in favor of this section of a population, which is coached, I would say, by the elders. And so the Gen Z had the opportunity to do that through in an anonymous way behind the screen. But my fear is that this social movement launched by the Gen Z is going to be recuperated by their elders, the more clever and savvy politicians, even the army. Some people of the army, some of them are dreaming to be the equivalent of Ibrahim Traore, the Malagasy equivalent of Ibrahim Traore. So my fear is that we are going to live another big deception, and thing will be we are in a kind of cycle, and we will witness the same thing like in 5 or 10 years ahead.
Professor, thank you so much indeed for your insights and what's happening in your country at this time. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Okay, thank you for inviting me.
That's Professor Solofo Randrianja speaking to us from Madagascar, giving us an update on these moving times in Madagascar. It's unclear exactly what will happen next. The president, we don't know where he is, and he says that this is unconstitutional, and it appears as if it's a coup, but we don't know. We'll keep on top of that story for you.
Yo, listen up. Check it out. Channel Africa is taking the digital game higher.